It is a misdirection that has benefited the selfish few leaders who love to play ostrich, pretending not to exist when the people cry for justice, economic development, or accountability. And interestingly, Nigeria is notorious for this gimmick. For some reason, the Nigerian people look to the federal government for answers to everything. Well, some may say our center is too powerful, hence the focus. But the truth is, our states and local governments have a lot of power and funding. And as the country navigates a tough economic climate, we ask, where does the money go? What constitutional roles do local authorities play? What are the challenges to delivering on these mandates? And do they truly need the autonomy they desire? Hello and welcome to Political Paradigm on Channels Television. I'm Kayla Magwa. In today's two-part interview discussing challenges facing local governments, we begin by speaking to Mr. Jide, development consultant, author, and public affairs analyst. Mr. Jide, welcome to Political Paradigm.
My pleasure.
I'm going to start by quoting something I read you wrote in the Punch newspaper. Unless and until the state joint local government account is abolished and council funds from the federation account are directly paid to these 768 local government areas and 6 area councils of the Federal Capital Territory, they will continue to be dependent on the state governments for their existence. Quite unfortunately, the 2018 Constitution Amendment on local government autonomy did not scale through. So I'm guessing that you're an advocate for independent funding of the local government. Why is there such a resistance to this call?
It is said that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. The wisdom of the framers of the Constitution as at 1979 was to make local government to be the concern of state. So from 1979 to 1999 Constitution, there was this section 162, which talks about joint state local government account. So whatever is coming from the federation account in the name of local government is paid into the state account for onward, distribution to the
state, to the local
government. And I happen to have gone to a local government primary school. At least part of my primary school in Ibadan was LJ local government in Mokola, Ibadan. I knew that as at that time, schools were built and funded and managed by local government, but not anymore. In the last 30 years, you won't hear any local government that have built schools or even primary health care center. And why so? Because the good intentions of the framers of the Constitution have been subverted by the state governors. And this is how it works. There are different ways by which it works. First, local government being the most, having the highest number of political offices, it will shock you that we have a total of 11,082 political offices in Nigeria. And when you look at, we have 1 president, we have 36 state governors, we have 109 senators, we have 306 House of Reps members, then we have 993 state houses of assembly seats or members, then you have 768 local government chairpersons and 6 area council chairmen. And then you have well over 11,000 councillorship positions. Can you see? Councillorship is the list of political offices. So when you look at that, the governors taught it that they need to be in control. And by being in control, what they simply do is that because of Section 7 of the Constitution, which says that no local government shall be administered undemocratically, I'm paraphrasing, not exactly the word. it then means that they have to conduct local government elections. So the section, I think section 200 or there, 197 or 200 of the Constitution set up what is called state independent electoral commissions. So these state independent electoral commissions are like INEC that conduct election into local government offices. Now, these SIEC are poorly funded, and they are dictated to by the governors. And that's why in almost all the local government elections we've seen held, the government in power wins everything. All the councillorship, all the local government. The exception is actually FCT, where you have a split. The last local government area council elections that was held in 2022, you have APC winning 3 seats, 3 chairmanship, and PDP winning 3 chairmanship. But that is because FCT election, and I need to explain to people, it's erroneous for you to say we have 774 local governments. We do not have that. Constitutionally speaking, we have 768 local governments and 6 area councils. That's even the word of the Constitution. I think section 3, sub 6 of the Constitution. So people need to have that at the back of their mind, so that if your son or daughter is writing JAM, don't mislead them to say there are 774. Constitutionally speaking, we have 768 local governments and 6 area councils. Now, this is why, because area council election is organized by INEC. That's why you do not have winner takes all in FCT elections for over the years. But once it's a state, the intendment and intention of the governor is to win all the seats. And that is not helping our democracy. But you see, that's because, one, the State Independent Electoral Commission that organized this election do not have the wherewithal, they don't have the resources, they don't have the funding, they don't have the personnel to conduct credible elections. It's not fault of theirs. They are very brilliant, intelligent, highly resourceful individuals. In fact, many of the SIEC chairmen are retired judges, retired permanent secretaries, ambassadors, people who have seen it all in life. But they will not use their personal funds to conduct elections. Exception of, I need to flag this, Kaduna State under El-Rufai was the first local government and first governance institution in Nigeria to conduct electronic voting. About 6 years ago.
At the local level?
At whatever level.
All the levels.
It's the first institution that have conducted electronic voting. And that's, in the last 2 electoral cycles, they have maintained that. And in Kaduna State, you will see opposition winning 1 or 2 area local government and councillorship. But in many of the other states, it's winner takes all. Now, how does that tie into the question of lack of autonomy? It starts from the State Independent Electoral Commission. The appointments, some of them were appointed even though they have partisan interest. And the Constitution has been altered that no one in the Electoral Management Commission of Nigeria should be politically exposed person. But some governors get away with it. In some states where it's done, the opposition goes to court, up to Supreme Court, to get judgment and against such individuals. And in few states, both APC and PDP states, the Supreme Court has ruled that it's wrong for governors to dissolve SIEC and also dissolve existing local government councils. Because what has happened is that despite we are housing the state funds with the governor through the section 162, the joint state local government account, they still dissolve arbitrarily these existing councils. Imagine a governor conducts a local government election and his tenure ends midway and a new governor takes over. The first thing many of those governors will do is to dissolve the existing local government, even if their tenure hasn't expired. It happened in Oyo, it happened in Katsina, it happened about 4 or 5 states. And Supreme Court has consistently, that is an independent arm of government. I mean, independent tier of government, not arm. Independent tier of government that should be allowed to exist. Did you know that in Nasarawa local government, in Nasarawa state here, there was a time they have a 1-year tenure of a local government? What will you do in 1 year? You contest election and your tenure ends in 12 calendar months. But they have altered that. I think they have 3 years. But in many states, except Lagos, Lagos is the only local government. Lagos is the only state with local government structure that is equal to that of the state and that of the federal, which is 4-year tenure. But many other states is 3 years or 2 years. Now, the biggest challenge, the biggest elephant in the room is that governors are not allowing local government to breathe. All efforts to alter the constitution to give financial and administrative autonomy to local government has been frustrated by the governors by instructing their state houses of assembly not to approve. On 2 different occasions, at least minimum of 2, National Assembly has passed local government autonomy and sent it to the state for concurrence, but they never get 24 states to support. And you need minimum of 24, which is 2/3 of the states, 2/3 of the state houses of assembly to support that provision for it to be altered. And so once it's defeated at the State House of Assembly level, it becomes something you have to do all over again. And that is even one layer of frustration. The other layer of frustration is that even if it sees the light of the day at the State Houses of Assembly, the president may be advised not to append his signature to it. So it's a big challenge. You will also recall that it's been a tug of war between the governors, state houses of assembly, and state judiciary over financial autonomy. In 2088, they successfully, after over 12 years of advocacy, they successfully...
2018, you mean?
No, in 2018.
Yes.
They succeeded. You know, in 2010, the National Assembly altered the Constitution to give National Assembly financial autonomy. That's why the funding, after the assent of the president, the funding that is due to National Assembly goes to it. It's now on the exclusive, what is called Consolidated Revenue Fund of the federal government. So if it's 400 billion that is meant for the National Assembly, it is managed by the National Assembly Service Commission and all of that. But in the case of state, they do not have that autonomy. So in 2011, the advocacy had been on. They were shortchanged by one state house of assembly. They have 23 states, the state house of assembly that supported financial autonomy. But it's far short of the 24 minimum that was required. So since 2011 and 2010 constitutional alteration, they did not get that autonomy until 2018. Now, look at that, 18 years after. But even after that, the governor still resisted the implementation of that financial autonomy for state judiciary and state house of assembly. There were a lot of issues that were raised at the level of governors' forum, but eventually they had to revisit that issue in the 2023 amendment. So 2 alterations to grant financial autonomy to state judiciary and state house of assembly. Meanwhile, they still battle. Some state governors have still not allowed for implementation of those provisions. Now, the ball is the local government has not even been allowed to function. Kayla, if I will tell you a secret, some governors will tell you, oh, I don't touch the fund of my local government. It goes...
We hear that quite a bit. Oh, it's not me. I'm not the one touching
Let
this.
me tell you the truth. It goes and it comes back.
How?
Yes. It will give them, but they will return it Nicodemously. You will sign that you have received your full funds, but they will whisper to you that you have to return it. So the more you see, the less. You know, there is a case in Ogun State. One chairman of a local government who took on Governor Biodun, Dakwa Biodun. And he said, look, we are not giving our funds. All his other brothers said, no, that's not true. That's not true. Did you know the man has been impeached for daring to expose or, as they said, embarrass the governor? And all of them said, that is not the true position. We get our money. But truth, I'm not saying about Ogun. The one I have had, people who knew, tell me, is that, yes, in some states, they give us with the right and collect with the left. So, and that's, you see, there's a nexus, Kela, there's a nexus between the politics of it and the economy of it. The politics of it, where a governor will not allow opposition member to win even a councillorship seat, is because it's like a cult. They want it to be all party affair.
They might say it's for easier governance.
That is the phrase. That is the phrase. But what is easier? You see, election at the grassroots, governance at the grassroots should be plural, should be multi-party. The reason, although I blame the framers of the constitution that says all political parties must be national in outlook. We don't have to have national political parties. In the First Republic, there were parties that operate at the regional level. There are those that operate at the national level. You get what I mean? I mean, we have United Middle Belt Congress, UMBC. You have even independent candidates that contested in the First Republic. All of that, by the time they brought 1979 Constitution, they said everything should be national. But that is the deceit of the highest order. Now, this is the way it works. You don't want any other party to exist. You don't want any other party to win at least a councillorship position. And you know that according to Section 225A of the Constitution, if you don't win any seat, and you don't win either any seat in any of the parliamentary, any of the assemblies, like that's whether area council. You know, councillorship positions are legislative positions. I hope you know that. Many people did not advance their mind that when they call you councillor, you are like equivalent of a honorable member of a state house of assembly or house of reps or senate, only that you are operating at the lowest level. So when they say councillor, I remember the famous councillor Balogun in Village Headmaster. When they say councillor, you are the spokesperson of your ward. Every local government is calibrated into wards, and there are an average of 10 to 12 wards in every local government. So there are going to be about 10 to 12 councillors. Now, in situations where the governor dictates to the SEC leadership and said, my party must win everything. What do you expect the old man to do? He doesn't want him to be dragged. So he say, as your Lord pleases. So they return everybody, including, and that's the most disheartening thing for me, that you are not allowing democracy to flourish at the grassroots level.
I was going to get to that. Why is it important for this autonomy to exist at local government areas? Let me explain. Let me play devil's advocate, maybe. Mm-hmm. From the standpoint of a governor, remember the governor is also under pressure to deliver his state every 4 years. We know that.
I'm listening.
Every 4 years, the state governor, in fact, we say it as Nigerians, oh, he couldn't deliver his state. It's almost like a slight on the governor if he's not able to deliver his state, so to speak, if the governor is a member of the ruling party at the center. Now, the governor is under pressure to ensure that he delivers his state. And then, of course, like we said earlier, many of them say, oh, for easier governance, I need to get things done. This is not about money. I'm just trying to get things done faster. It's easier to do everything faster if we're all on the same page. You don't think there's any merit to that argument?
There's no merit to that argument. See, being on the same page and not allowing for credible election at the local government level is anti-democratic, and it's an anathema on civil rule. Because, you see, you can be on the same page even if you belong to the different political parties. After all, they didn't get that. They wouldn't get that at the state level. How many states do you think has 100% members of a party winning all the seats? In how many states? Not even in Lagos State. As popular as APC is in Lagos State, they still have, at least I know they have one Labour and maybe a couple of other parties. Now, if you cannot achieve, delivering your state to a governor is not delivering all the seats, it's making your presidential candidate to win. And a presidential candidate election is different from that of local government election. So you can still deliver your state by ensuring that your presidential candidate, if you are working for him and not playing wicked there, is able to win majority of valid votes. You know, when I say playing wicked and advocate, you know, when Wike says Atiku will not win in my state, and 5 of them said openly, it's not in Nicodemously, we are not supporting our presidential candidate. And they didn't work for him. And you could see the outcome of the election. In Oyo State, Shuaibu Ahmed Tinubu won majority of votes in the presidential election. The same thing in Rivers. For the first time in 24 years of democracy, Rivers State presidential election went to the opposition. You understand? So when you say
without the political actors decamping.
Yes. So what I'm saying is that you can still deliver your state by ensuring that your presidential candidate wins majority of the vote. You can still deliver your state as an outgoing governor by ensuring that your successor belongs to your party. But not to say you are delivering the state by ensuring that all the political offices in that state should belong to your party. That is where we get it wrong. See, if we allow democracy to flourish at the local government level, you will see the beauty of democracy better. Because this so-called nameless party that we abuse them, they will be able to win 2-3 seats and they will remain relevant. Even if they are not able. Did you know that Islamic Brotherhood in Egypt did not win presidential election until 80 years after it was founded? Before, Abdulaziz Morsi, before Assisi seized power from Islamic Brotherhood. Islamic Brotherhood has been in existence as a political party in Egypt for over 80 years. But now, with Section 225A of the Constitution altered in 2018, INEC is at liberty to deregister political parties that do not win any of the seats in any political offices or did not win certain threshold of executive elections. So the political parties are imperiled by not allowing this local government to undergo credible elections. Because at the end of the day, we are indirectly muscling the country into a two-party state. You get? Because if INEC is to fall again now after 2023 election, only 5 or 6, maybe 8 political parties will still be in existence. Because those are the ones I know won seats either at the federal, at the executive position or at the legislative position. That's at the Senate, House of Reps. I think there are 7 political parties that won seats at the Senate, and 8 political parties won at the Senate, at the House of Reps, 7 at the Senate. So maybe in some state houses of assembly, maybe you have 1 or 2 other parties. So at the end of the day, if INEC were to wield the big stick according to Section 225A of the Constitution, they would deregister about 10 of the existing parties. So, and gradually, it then means that this political space will be shrinking, the civic space will be shrinking. What government is like non-existent as a tier of government. They are just like a paper tiger. And that's why there is a high level of insecurity That's why there is a high level of maternal mortality. There's a high level of out-of-school children. Because when the local governments were playing their role the way they should, I told you of my experience. I went to a local government primary school. Where are they today? They have been taken over by states, run by states. Their salaries are now being paid by states because the governors emasculated the local government. They could not pay salaries.
So what next?
The next thing is to allow viability of local government as a tier of government.
If the governors are against it, state assemblies are not going to pass it. With all of these restrictions,
but we have a new crop of governors. We have 31 states that have conducted election. You understand? 28 during the national general election, and 30, 28 during the general election, and then Kogi and Bayelsa, making 30. But this year, 2 elections are up. So we now have new sheriffs in town. Maybe there will be more, if the advocacy is right, if the framing of the messaging is right, if we are able to do a SWOT analysis of what is the strength, the weaknesses, the opportunity, and the threat of not allowing local government autonomy, we will see that we are shooting ourselves in the foot. Kela, for how many decades have we been resisting establishment of state police? But when it got hard and the big men are no longer safe, are they not the one that turn around 360 degrees and now say, we must have state police? So it will get to a stage, and it's already getting to that stage, where we'll see the folly of preventing local government autonomy, because they are the closest to the people. They know who are the strangers. When you talk of grassroots governance, and let me shock you, Kayla. You have many people who cut their political teeth from local government. Pauline Talent was former local government chairperson. Muslim Obanikoro, who later became ministers, later became senator, minister, started from Etiosa local government. Is it Etiosa, one of the local government in Ireland? He was chairman. That's where he cut the political state. There are so many who started off as this Senator Itaena, started as councillor, from councillor local government chairman, from local government chairman to state assembly member of state house of assembly, from there to house of reps, from house of reps to senator. Now, look at the wealth of experience the man has garnered over the years. And you need to listen to Senator Itaena. You know that he's highly cerebral, apart from being a lawyer. But he started his politicking from the grassroots. And that is why when you start at local government, you are likely going to have vast knowledge of administration, because you are going to be building on that residual knowledge. I think President Tinubu should put his weight behind this, because he had a 2-year face-off with former President Obasanjo over issue of this autonomy of local government. Remember, Lagos was the first to create LCDA, 37 of them, for which Obasanjo seized the funds for local government in Lagos State for 2 years. That was when Yemi Osinbajo, now former vice president, was commissioner for justice and attorney general of Lagos State. So with that encounter that Asiwaju had with Obasanjo, that should serve him to now rally his brother governors to say, please, let us allow for functional, autonomous local governance in Nigeria, because it's to our own advantage if we do so. So that wealth of experiences with Asiwaju, I hope it takes up the challenge and mobilize for local government autonomy.
I want to thank you very much, Mr. Jide Ojo, for spending time with us and talking to us about this very crucial topic, and good luck with all the work you have ahead of you.
That we either allow for autonomy or we just scrap local government, so that we know we have 2 tiers of government. Let's not continue to pretend that we have 3 tiers. Without autonomy of local government, we are nowhere. And we will have worsening governance in Nigeria. I can make that prediction safely.
Well, my next guest may not agree. He is the Board of Trustees Chairman for ALGON, the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria. And he believes that local authorities are crucial to handling a lot of the challenges facing the country right now, especially economy and security. We spoke with him earlier, and this is what he had to say. My guest on the program is the Chairman Board of Trustees of the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, Honorable Shaban Shuaibu. At the age of 58, Mr. Shaban is a nurse by profession and former local government chairman of Kogi Local Government Area, headquartered in Kotokarfe in Kogi State from 1999 to 2002 under the governorship of the late Prince Abubakar Audu. He was made Chairman Board of Trustees of ALGON in April of 2021. Honorable Shaban Shuaibu, welcome to Political Paradigm.
Thank you. Thank you, viewers.
Talk to us a bit about ALGON in itself. I mean, we interface with NOLGE, the one that has the workers, but the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, what do you exist to serve?
Yeah, the Association of Local Government of Nigeria is a body who have come together from 1999 solidly to make sure bringing the local government system to the limelight for the downtrodden to benefit. And we have all come together as the 774 local government to now pilot the affairs and coming together and finding a way out, looking at the security situation, looking at economic situation, things like that. The local government system, once you have a very good local government system, I'm sure the nation is at peace.
Who are your members?
All the local government chairmen, 774 local government, all the vice chairmen of elected council vice chairmen, all the councillors of Nigeria.
So do you're basically looking out for the interest of your members? Is that all that there is?
No, it's about the people. Politics is local. And in an attempt to push the third tire behind, that is where we are having the most problem of insecurity. And that is why the association is standing to see whatever we can do to galvanize people together. Because this is where the people are. Even Mr. President is from a local government. So wherever you are, whoever you are, you're from a local government.
So when you took the reins in 2021 as Board of Trustees Chairman, what were some of the things you noticed on ground with ALGON, and what has changed since then?
Actually, the situation on ground is really very pathetic because so many things are happening that are very, very unpleasant to the masses of this country. When I'm making reference to 1999, when I was a council chairman, the section of the Constitution that bring local government state accounts together was for good. So as to bring in whatever that is going to every local government should go to the local government councils. But unfortunately, it has been misused by most of the governors in the country. What happens if the money goes into that joint account? The local governments are not giving the money.
I'm going to get to financial autonomy that you're asking for.
Yeah.
But I want to know, as an association, what was the situation on ground? Was there a proper coordination of local government chairmen at the time when you became Board of Trustees Chairman of ALGON?
We are trying to bring them together.
Because we have seen some headlines where we're saying there are many local government, chairmen who, may have one issue or the other in their states.
Yeah.
We're also seeing stories about the FCT, because, in the FCT, we don't have local government chairmen. So area to say, council. You have area council chairman.
But they are in the Constitution.
Are they members? The area council chairman, members. Are they members of ALGON?
Very well. They are elected and they are part of the 774 local governments.
Okay.
They are area councils, but then they have the same designation.
So let's actually now go into what the issues are. The mandate, because you coming from a former local government chairman yourself,
Yeah.
what's the mandate of the local government chairman?
The mandate of a local government chairman, elected local government chairman, is to oversee the local government affairs.
Is it possible for him to do that by himself? Does he need the state to support him in that work that he's been asked to do?
That is the problem we have. The local government is supposed to be autonomous of itself. We have the first, we have the first tier, second tier, and the third tier. They are all autonomous. No, president is not interfering in the governor's affairs, except when the need arises. So also the local government should be. And that's why we are carrying for autonomy.
So bringing government to the grassroots.
Exactly.
Now, with the situation we have on ground in the country, many people have started to look at local authorities as opposed to looking at the federal government, which was something that a lot of people used to do when we see suffering going on, the president. In fact, we go all the way to the presidency. Now, local authorities are being looked at. When it comes to navigating this situation we find ourselves in, where we have poverty at those local levels, what's the role that the local government chairman is supposed to play in all this?
Exactly. That is why I'm telling you that politics is local, and the people, they can get access to the chairman any day, anytime, even in his house. And whatever the problems, like this poverty, I'm just giving you my own life experience. When I was a council chairman, waking up in the morning, people are already at your doorstep, knocking. If they have problem, one or two things that you can solve. Right now, the situation at hand does not even give the local government chairman to operate.
How do you mean? What do you mean they're not allowed to
Well,
operate?
you don't have the money. You don't have anything to use. The monies are being diverted. And this is the situation.
Are you saying that no local government chairman is getting allocation? Is that what you're saying to us?
They don't.
Any allocations?
Majority of them are not getting allocations. The governors choose whatever they will give to them to operate. Some of them don't even, they will barely pay salaries. That is the situation. And that is why we are telling you that the insecurity are being caused by the problem from the local area. I am very sure that every local government has security committee that they hold all the time. And this security and peace committee, both the traditional councils, people, imams, pastors, they are part of this security committee. And any insecurity coming up, they will know. Even the youth leaders are involved. So if they are purely the one at the grassroots, the problems generate from the grassroots.
Let me get your experience when you were local government chairman.
Yeah.
What kind of funding? Were you getting funding?
Direct. We were the first to be elected by INEC. And since after that election, INEC has never conducted any election for local councils again, except FCT. And so, anybody coming on board, they are somebody from the governors. And you hardly talk.
That's a very serious allegation.
It's not an allegation. Elections have been. I come from a state. There hardly be any state that will conduct local councils election that another party will win. Hardly. And that is why the process is now selection, not election. And if somebody has selected you to be there, you cannot back. You can't tell that person what you are. It's like a favor. And that is the more reason why some of them are very handicapped.
Are there any of your members who, you can say were not selected by the governor? I mean, your organization is all of them.
That is what,
774 men.
That is what I am telling you. That since after our election, apart from FCT, every other elections of local council have been conducted by SEC.
And you're saying the governors have influence over that?
The reason why they have influence is clear. I've told you that the elections hardly in this country another party can win in any state where there is a governor. It's clear, it's eminently clear. We have seen it. If you can give me 2 states that another party is a council chairman.
I should be asking you that. Because they are members of your...
You are more exposed to than me.
Oh, they are your members.
Okay.
They are your members.
I'm telling you the truth.
Are there any of your members? That actually brings me to the question I asked you before. Are there any of your members that are members of a different political party from the state governor?
It's rare.
A very strange situation. Let's talk a bit about the burden that is on you. I want people to be able to understand constitutionally what a local government chairman is supposed to do. You said there are some salaries you're supposed to pay.
You pay salary.
What financial burdens are on the local government chairman?
All financial burdens on the local government. You have security. You have staffs under you. You have to pay them their salaries. That is why you have NOGE. And security situation I have mentioned earlier, they are all part of the system. They are burdens on the local government. But this is the situation that we have. I am telling you that local government position is almost the same as what the governor's positions are in the state. And so whatever that comes under the local government is within the local government system.
So let's look at this money. FAC, we keep hearing about the monies that have been distributed by FAC. In fact, what we're hearing is that there's going to be an increase, based on the indices that we have on ground. When the money gets into that account, you say it's a joint account.
Yeah, state-local government joint account.
So was it always like that? I think there was some legislation that created that joint account.
Yeah.
What was the thinking behind the creation of that joint account?
The thinking was that the local government state joint account or state-local government joint account was supposed to give the local government an advantage. The internally generated revenue from the state, 10% of it should be plunged into that account to be shared among the local governments of the state. This was the advantage the local government will have benefited. Instead, the reverse is the case.
If it's so abysmal, it's gotten to where you've given up. Whenever you say it, you recline in your chair, which means you've just stated it's a bad situation.
It's a very bad situation.
So what can be done? Is there a way out of it?
Yeah, legislation.
From who?
National Assembly. And anything that is in the Constitution, at the end of the day, they have oversight functions. There are people who are supposed to even find out this. They are all aware. In short, there is virtually no politician who don't know what I'm saying. Except if you claim not to know. So, exactly the situation. We are very handicapped.
Let's talk about an ideal situation between a local government chairman and his governor.
Yeah.
How is it, what's it supposed to be like, in your view? At least when you were local government chairman under Prince Audu, what was that? What was the relationship like?
Very cordial. And the fact was that he never touched our allocation.
Okay.
Our allocation was coming direct as at that time. We are the pioneers. The monies should go directly to local government account. That's all.
So you don't support this joint account business anymore?
It's not helping local government system. Many of them cannot talk because of the way they come. Are you getting me?
By the way they came, how they came into power, how the local government chairman
if the local government chairman is to come here, he will not be able to say it the way I'm saying it. Because somebody brought him medicine to this, the solution to this. INEC should take over the whole elections. No matter how bad as it is, INEC should be charged with responsibility of conducting the whole election, both presidential, state, and the local government.
It is INEC that is handling the local government election, but it's the state INEC. You want the federal INEC to come
Federal INEC, thank you.
You want federal INEC.
Federal INEC.
You want federal INEC to come and run the elections.
They have to.
Why can't listen?
That is why
Why can't the federal INEC, in your words, why can't federal INEC make sure that the process is clear by using state INEC? Are you saying that the state versions of INEC are powerless? Do they answer to the governor?
Yes. Who appointed them? The governors. I want to tell you unequivocally that the only election where local government system is highly competitive is no more than FCT. Because they don't have governors. And you will see pure competition where every party will raise its head that, yes, I'm contesting election. But every other place is a sham. Sorry to say.
It is a very painful situation that you've pointed out for us there. Let's talk about the local government authority and, the state assemblies. What's the relationship between both of those bodies?
You are taking us to Section 7 of the Constitution and 8. That section has placed all local government councils under the armpit of the assembly. And the assembly will not listen to local councils. They will listen to their governors. It's a very serious situation. If this local government is well, perfected, we will have a very smooth sail in democracy. I told you earlier, politics is local. Most of these assembly members, they are from a local government. You see, from that Section 7, it's clear that local government system functions, finances, and what have you will be legislated by the state assembly. By so saying, by so doing, where is the freedom? Even the structure, they will tell you how many supervisors you get, essays that you can get, things that are already clear that in the Constitution, they are being duplicated.
The advocacy that you started, how far has it gone? You mentioned that there was a proactive National Assembly not too long ago. But apart from that, what other progress have you seen?
We are moving.
In what ways?
We are moving to see the governors, to see reason why the third tier has to exist independently. And some proactive governors, they are listening. They know why the local government system should exist. And once they exist, they too have peace. They too live better.
Many people believe that local authorities know. You know who these criminals are. You know when a terrorist enters your territory, you know. If we're talking about bandits moving from Plateau State or terrorists moving around from Plateau to Abuja, the local authorities know. You are in charge of the local vigilantes. You know what is happening at that level. You can tell when strangers enter a local... This Kotonkarfe, if someone entered Kotonkarfe, you have ears and eyes on the ground that report to you. How was it possible for terrorism and banditry and criminality to be everywhere? To be everywhere, especially in this northern part of the country that we're in. How did it get this bad with local authorities? Are you going to blame the lack of funding and lack of independence for the porousness that we experienced that led us to where we are?
It is part of it. Poverty that you see ravaging is from the local people. They suffer it more. And it's a pathetic situation. I've told you that most of the local government, most of them, I'm telling you, most of them don't have the fund to sustain their area. If we have, from my own state, we have 21 local governments. This 21 local government, when I was there, I was taking youth empowerment scheme for those who are graduates. Are you getting me? Mm-hmm. For them to survive, spending when they will get something doing. Then other people, other local government council chairmen were doing the same thing. It was encouraged. At that time, youth restiveness was controlled. Now, if you don't have the means to be able to bring the youth together, please take this and move on. Do agricultural something, do this, encouraging them to do one thing or the other. I'm telling you, a busy mind is always thinking of idea. But the devil workshop is an idle mind. And the major problem that we are in is because of this idleness.
The local authorities were given their financial autonomy and given the independence that you need. What would you be doing differently right now?
They will be more proactive. I told you we used to have peace and security meeting that comprises even traditional councils, chairman, imams, pastors, youth leaders, host of others. Just like you are saying, and you are trying to bring up, that whatever happens at the local level, all the executive chairmen of various local government are supposed to know. It's only when you have opportunity of making things work that things can come to you. Nigeria is more than that, my dear sister. Please, give powers to local government council chairmen. You see wonders in this country. Peace will restore. Economically, things will change. Because if people are being engaged, they are doing the needful. I'm telling you, that is the wonders that you will see. They legislate on structure, functions. Are you getting me? And finances. So this is where they are now finding it that we can't allow local government system to be free.
When we heard of a social register in Nigeria, they told us that the names came from the local governments. Oh, don't worry, the names came from the local government. I heard local government so much during that period. Is this true? Were you the ones that provided, because they are your members, these local government chairmen, were they the ones who provided the names on the National Social Register?
People can claim that the names originated from local government council. Some states definitely will stand and they will get it right. Some may not. I'm sure we are living witnesses to when Buhari wanted to do one program that involved the local people. And the present Minister for Aviation, what brought the trouble between him and others? Names were used to be hijacked. The names will be hijacked at the end of the day. The names that will come, the chairman of the council may not know, the councillors may not know. What is supposed to be that by the time you sit down with your councillors, every councillor is from a ward, and that is the smallest organ of local government system. And that ward, virtually 70 to 80% of those who are in that ward, the councillor should know. And he knows those who he will use.
So you're saying it's a mix and match. It's not. It may not totally be fake names.
They must come from the local government, but somebody else somewhere may hijack it.
What does that mean? But somebody will hijack it. Someone will steal it. What does that mean? If as ALGON, if as a local government chairman, who is a member of ALGON, I came up with the list of beneficiaries from my local government
area. You are given opportunity to even bring the list.
At the time when this move was being made, Was it discussed at ALGON?
No. It wasn't brought before. It is not issues that have to be brought under ALGON. If you are bringing ALGON...
Did the local government chairman have a conversation about how,
It
oh,
will
look,
be
the
in
federal
their
government
state.
wants this. We are supposed to present the list of beneficiaries. ALGON had no idea about this?
They have ideas.
Okay.
But I am telling you that it was not presented as a national issue. If the federal government is doing a program that has to do with the downtrodden, ALGON can be invited and we'll put up our own position that how it will succeed.
You've never been...
We have not been invited, carried along alongside.
What do you have to say to a local government chairman right now? Someone who's dealing with the changes. Like you said, it's a lot different from when you were a local government chairman. What should he be doing right now?
Well, I sympathize with their situation, but they should be more proactive and do the needful with anything they can do within their limitations to make sure the system improve. It will be encouraged, and we are still going to stand by them when we are called upon anytime to give our support in any way we can. And honestly, just like I've said, some of them are finding things difficult because of the way they come.
Because of how they got in.
How they got in. I'm telling you, if you bring any of them here to say something, they will come with the praises of so many things. They can't open up.
At the time when they were doing conditional cash transfers, you remember that period?
Exactly.
Were local government chairmen being used at that time?
No.
So it was the ministry that was doing it with their staff members.
Exactly.
But they said the names came from the local government. They said you've expatiated on that for us. My goodness. In any case, so going forward now that there's plans to, distribute, push some grain back out there to the people, see if we can. Oh no, you don't agree with it?
I agree with it.
Okay.
If that is done through the local government chairman, it's difficult to hijack. It has to go. The councillors will be there to see him. You have brought 500 bags of so thing. Yes. My word. Give me the word. Everybody will have the taste of it. We did no time to circulate. If you use local government system, your message will get down easy.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Shaban, for speaking with us on Political Paradigm. Good luck with all the engagements you have ahead of you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thank you, viewers.
We've been speaking with Mr. Shuaibu Shaban, Chairman Board of Trustees of the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria. Please share your thoughts on the program on our website, channelstv.com, respectfully, of course. Until next time, let's keep asking till the accountability question is answered. Thank you so much for watching. I am Kayla Magwa. See you next time.